In Seth Macfarlane's unwavering commitment to dominating television, he followed up the wildly successful Family Guy with American Dad.
You know what I have to say to that? I thought I was gonna fart.
It shifts the family dynamic enough to feel familiar, and yet it's completely different at the same time. With less cutaway gags, meaning more commitment to a canonical storyline, and a narrative built around aliens and the CIA, it was inevitable that the tinfoil hat wearing theory crafters of the internet were going to jump on this one, and we love it. I'm Kyle with Wicked Binge, and these are wild American Dad theories that actually make sense.
Like I did your mom last night.
Roger is basically Superman. A lot of people say that Superman's abilities go too far, making his battles a little too predictable. Instead of finding genius solutions like Batman, or getting beaten up like Spider-Man, he can pretty much fly directly to any problem and punch it until it submits to his will. But how does he compare to the mighty Roger? Super strength? Check. Super speed? Check. Invulnerability? Check.
The alien inside is merely a crash test dummy who most likely died upon impact.
Mind control, regeneration.
Hey, can you guys put me back together before I die over here? Preach.
Ability to survive in space without oxygen. Check, check, check. And it doesn't stop there. Reddit user DoubleDump points out that Roger possesses a host of superhuman traits, including asexual reproduction, resistance to extreme cold, a fireproof body.
How'd you know I was fireproof?
The ability to poop out jewel-encrusted gold, and more.
Unless you can poop out gem-encrusted gold, you're out of luck.
Our only logical conclusion can be to reject this theory. Sorry, but Roger isn't basically Superman. He's far more powerful. The CIA knows exactly where Roger is hiding. In the show, the level of competence demonstrated by the CIA isn't exactly consistent. Despite having technology that's far more advanced than what's possible, or what we're led to believe what's possible, they fail to track Roger and a crippled Stan during their escape from Area 51.
But it takes a few hours, so you're gonna have to do the baby leg thing for a little while.
After all they'd have to do is lock down the perimeter, check vehicles exiting the compound, and catch them in the laundry truck. Furthermore, they don't even work out who Stan is, or follow up on the fact that he was fleeing the facility with an alien. Something doesn't add up. And according to Redditor abaker74, the CIA has cooked up something that we didn't expect. What if the CIA decided to let Roger stay with the Smiths, knowing that Stan's debt to Roger and fear for his own safety were he ever to be found out was the perfect ruse to keep both under tight control? While the CIA wouldn't stand a chance of containing Roger in a regular facility, his need for importance and emotional attachment make bonding him with a family a more viable approach to monitoring his whereabouts. But why not just let Stan in on the secret? Because it would compromise the circle of knowledge. Instead of getting someone to act out this pretense, which would be vulnerable to exposure, the CIA has caught Stan in a genuine fix. As a consequence, all of his behavior is authentic, and that's the key of gaining Roger's trust. The CIA's apparent pursuit of Roger is just another ruse to reinforce the charade while they observe every move from afar. All of this is getting results too. Just look at how Roger reveals his crashed spacecraft to Stan.
Fortress of Solitude? Oh, good lord, it's real.
And he even feels comfortable enough to call his home ship to Earth. One thing we don't really like about this theory, however, is that it hinges on Stan being chosen for this task because he's the most gullible agent in the organization. I mean, come on, he's not that stupid. Susie Swanson is Avery Bullock. This theory makes the case that Susie Swanson, the infant daughter of Joe Swanson in Family Guy, is actually an avatar controlled by Avery Bullock, Stan's boss at the CIA.
Holy crap!
If you know the shows, it's pretty easy to work out where this comes from, as Patrick Stewart, the voice of Avery, also provides the voice of Susie's internal monologue. But Reddit user TC Romps goes a little further. The first thing to establish is that the two shows share a universe. There are plenty of crossover references to confirm this, including when Stewie goes to the CIA and meets Stan, and Roger's multiple appearances in Family Guy. In Season 7 of American Dad, the episode Virtual Insanity
Of course this is real.
demonstrates this motion-captured avatar technology in action. Not only do we see it working, we also see Avery inhabit a baby avatar about to nurse. Even if that isn't Susie, it shows Avery has form for this kind of behavior. But what's the motive? That should be pretty clear considering Avery's salacious habits. It might also have some psychological connection to the way he treats the agents working for him like preschoolers. The only thing that doesn't quite add up is that we know Avery's usual preference is for young plump Asians, which doesn't exactly match up with Bonnie.
Got any cigarettes?
No.
Then go suck it.
Isn't she great?
Roger is a hive mind with multiple bodies. How many times do we see Roger in a seemingly inescapable scenario which could only end in his certain death? A lot. Although Roger never actually dies, and as we've covered, he's not exactly easy to kill, it still raises the suspicion that something else is at work here. Redditor Sexy Shafter forwards the idea that Roger, as we know him, is actually a hive mind, in control of dozens or even thousands of Rogers around the world.
I feel like I'm gonna fart.
While each instance of Roger occupies a separate body, their minds all interact to form a single conscience. When one instance dies, another can just fall into their place, without breaking the continuing stream of collective consciousness. It's clear that Roger constantly shows up in unexpected places, living a seemingly normal life undercover in varying occupations. How else could he maintain these double lives without being in two places at once? Although we never see Roger twice on the same screen, suggesting he could be using super speed to switch positions extremely quickly, it doesn't explain what he's doing all day while supposedly holding down a job as a horse whisperer's receptionist, for example. This would also explain, in part, Roger's excellent ability to create believable characters and embody them instantly. He's drawing from his experience in the many lives he's already living. But how could he actually pull it off? Well, we already know that he can reproduce asexually, and he's been shown to have the sexual potency to impregnate hosts with a single kiss.
I think I'm pregnant.
If someone gave birth to an alien and it immediately ran off, taking on a disguise never to be found again, who would believe them? Who would even believe themselves? This theory works because, in practice, whether it's a hive mind of identical Rogers or just one Roger, it sort of doesn't make a difference. It's a strange thought. American Dad is a TV show. Don't be ridiculous, I hear you cry. Of course it isn't, but wait until you've heard the evidence. This isn't really a case of a delusional individual writing on the internet about their gradual realization that a cartoon may, in fact, not be real. We hope. Instead, Reddit user Monome seems to have a plausible idea that the events within American Dad are all part of a show. Okay, that doesn't sound much better, but let's take a look. Firstly, there are the multiple instances when American Dad has broken the fourth wall. Lots of shows do this as a gag. However, American Dad does seem to be a little more committed to the idea. Taking it chronologically, in Season 3, the episode Widowmaker
Looks like a woman's baby cannon.
features a celebration of the show's 1000th vagina joke, where a wide shot of the kitchen reveals to be a set. Roger then gives a speech to commemorate the moment in front of the show's cast.
I guess I'd like to thank vaginas everywhere. They're creepy and I don't know what they're for, but boy are they funny!
In Season 4, episode Bar Mitzvah Hustle, Stan pauses and stops delivering his lines due to the absurdity of the script. The cameras follow him all the way off set when he walks past a human-sized claws in front of a green screen, revealing the show's editing secrets. Finally, in Gorillas in the Mist, the 19th episode of Season 6, a running gag involving a busboy culminates in another wide-shot reveal of the show's filming equipment. This theory's hard to deny, even if we don't know exactly what it means. Roger is actually one of the Smith children. We definitely recommend reading Redditor UT Bud Cody's theory in full if you're interested, because it goes into a lot of detail. Here's a concise rundown. Firstly, for this to make sense, you have to buy into the idea that the show portrays the world from Roger's perspective, and Roger is a schizophrenic. Behind that portrayal is the reality that Roger is actually the first child of Stan and Francine. The story goes that although once a popular and well-achieving kid at school, he was once abducted by aliens, sending him into a spiral of depression and trauma which resulted in a full breakdown. This is the cause of his drinking and his belief that he himself is an alien. His experience being anally probed aboard the alien spacecraft had a significant impact on his sexuality, leading him to desire a range of sexual partners. His escape from Area 51 was actually an escape from a mental institution, and those trying to return him aren't the CIA, but social workers. Stan ultimately decided to keep him at home, deciding it was better for his recovery. Oh, and Claus can't actually talk. It's just another one of Roger's split personalities, which he uses to communicate with the family.
I told you I want to be called Razor.
In fact, all his different characters are just new guises Roger is using as a way of hiding his crippling self-confidence issues. The reason Toshi is the only character who doesn't play along is because nobody was able to explain to him the nuances of Roger's troubled past. Poor Roger. But what do you think? Do any of these theories add up? Do you have any of your own American Dad theories that we missed? Let us know in the comment section below. Please don't forget to like this video, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you get notifications whenever we upload. But most importantly, stay wicked.